I'm up, baby. I'm ready to go. Look at, I got Gail on, I got Cam on, I got my Philly brother from another mother, the ROG, the real estate opportunity guy. We're rocking around. Corinna's there. I not to name the wrong way. She always reminds me. Brian's still fly fishing. He watched the river runs through it again. He's doing okay, right? And then we got Mitchie with a brand new white shirt, and his head is cleanly shaved, and he's very streamlined right now. I like that. Oh, and here comes the man with the best hair in the business. I see him on there. Hopefully, he doesn't walk around his office 15 times like a bull in a china shop. There he is. Oh, he's seated today, which makes it even better. We can focus as much as humanly possible. I love that. No, I'm excited about today, you guys. I was in Charleston last week speaking on luxury. That's why I wasn't on the mastermind. And I love the mastermind because I think that it's a critical time in real estate with inventory issues and buyer issues and other things. And I'm not going to focus on those. That's the reality of it. I think this is when huge opportunity is created. If you look in between the lines and understand that we have to get back to the basics, we have to get better at scripts, we have to get better at getting belly to belly with people, and just doing what you need in real estate to really create a business. Like Cam Smith somewhere here, he must be putting on sunscreen. I think that's what he's doing, right? So I'm really excited about today's topic. And it was funny because I said to Mitch, hey, bring me up to speed on what today's topic is. And he sent me the topic. And then he said, oh, shit, I sent you the wrong topic. That was a different week. Here's the topic. So the topic today is scripts part 3, not part 1, not part 2, part 12. All right. And it's how to win internet referrals, which is really important because I think referrals are the lifeline to real estate, especially in markets like this. Because, guys, if you can build up your referral business, you're going to make it. So you have to market to 2 groups. And I just want to say this as an intro. You have to market to the consumer and the past client and the connection on that side. And then you have to market to all the agents and get in front of them and remind them the locations and the areas that you handle and say, look, I want to send you referrals. Don't come with your handout, come with a gift. And oh, by the way, Brian, keep me in mind if you have anybody looking in San Diego around La Jolla or Del Mar or Pacific Beach, or if you have anybody looking in Nashville around Franklin or College Grove. I can help them and I will pay you a great referral. Just map it out, you guys, because this is what it's all about. And I don't want to go north because then I have to compete with the best hair in the business. And I'm going to have to up my hair game and get all types of new pomade and find a stylist and all types of shit, right? So you want to really define where you're at so they have a clear understanding of who you can handle. And you put it on their radar. It's the law of attraction. It's manifestation. Because if they send you a referral and you're on it and you're giving updates and you're communicating, it's going to be an automatic deal if that person's motivated to buy. That's the big thing. So who wants to kick it off on our topic this week, which is part 3? We already went through that, on how to win internet referrals. I'd like to start off this week personally with Brian Yarber. And the reason being, because usually he's coming up, he's usually in the cleanup position with 1 or 2 nuggets and gems that you can put into action. And he's at the very end. And I'm writing so fast, I usually hurt my wrist, which affects the golf game every week.
I got to actually lead off last week, Pete.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
That's all right.
Let's go 2 for 2. Let's bat 1,000.
All right. So internet leads are fun. And I'm going to use 2 different types of examples here. So if it's an agent internet referral, the first thing I always want to know is what state is the agent in that's giving me the referral. And typically to win their loyalty, if I'm getting Gail, you used to be in San Francisco, right?
Sacramento.
Sacramento. Okay. So if Gail called me in San Diego and said, hey, Brian, I've got this friend, they've got a property, or I've got a good client, they're moving to San Diego. I know you're down there. We collaborate together, and she wants to give them to me. The first thing I would do, you guys, the first thing I would do is say, Gail, since we're in the same state, I want you to list the property, and then I want you to introduce me as the boots on the ground in San Diego, because you have the loyalty with the client. So since you're licensed in California, I prefer you do the negotiating with the client. I'll do all the fun stuff. I'm going to do that for the first one because I want Gail to be in charge, and I get to see how she operates with her clients. I've done this many times, you guys. And Randy and I started doing this in California. And what we did was we had a community of investors that were coming to us with properties in Sacramento and in San Francisco and in Northern California and Los Angeles. And what we would do is we would actually take the listing with the client first and let them know what we were going to do is go find the boots on the ground in that area and partner. And sometimes we would just do 50-50 on everything. We always did 50-50. We never had to give up more than 50% on our outbounds because they trusted us and we were in the same state. So it was beautiful. So we used to get all these listings out of the area because our clients trusted us. I took a listing in Port Hueneme one time, which is about couple hours away. I took staging furniture. I went up and staged it for my client because they were a good client. I was like 5 deals deep with this guy. And I staged it. I met with the local broker. I picked them out. I said, hey, I got a listing. My clients are in Palm Springs. I'm in San Diego. The property's in Port Hueneme. How would you like to work with me on this? I'll give you all the sign calls. You can have the lockbox. You actually put it in the MLS. You're the first agent. All the offers go through me. I'll introduce you to my client later. You may not ever need to meet them. You and I just work together. So I started doing this, you guys, and I did deals every year from agents that were actually coming to me with listings from family members in Santa Barbara. Hey, Brian, we listed a property in your area on Mount Helix. It's our listing. We hear you partner with other brokers out of the area through the company. And I was with a different brand at that time. So I would teach this. And what was happening was brilliant. So the idea is you choose to work with your client and then help them. That's the first referral that I'm talking about here. The second thing is that if I got a referral from Mitch and he's in Florida, Mitch calls me up, says, hey, Brian, I got somebody moving to San Diego. They're a family friend. They're a good client. They bought and sold, but they're retiring. I'd say the same exact thing. Hey, Mitch, how would you like to represent them with me? Let me bring you in on this transaction. I'm going to need you because your loyalty with them is clearly what stood out in this whole thing. So you see how I just reverse engineer it because I need Pete or Mitch or whoever's the referral agent to be that agent with that family member. So they don't just get handed off to me because I don't want them just handed off to me because I know how much I'm going to need the relationship. So I know you guys don't all think this way. It's kind of new. Wrap your head around it. Literally what you'll learn is that your referral business will double and triple because how you operate, okay? So that's one way. Now, here's what I know about internet leads if I'm getting them personally. I don't get a lot of them because I don't do a lot of internet advertising. But what does an internet lead know that a sign call doesn't know? Typically, they know the price. They know the price of the property they're calling on. Because they know the price, because they found it on the internet, then it's easier to convert that client to a conversation client because they already know the price. So they're not going to call me and say, I want to know the price. You don't have to overcome that objection with them. Now, what is it about that property on the internet that caught their eye? That's what you got to learn. So if you were to say to somebody, hey, listen, I can help you with that property. I know the area. I may have to, it might be out of the area, but it might be my listing from out of the area. I would just clearly say, hey, let me ask you a great question. What is it about that house on the internet that caught your eye? There's something on there that caught their eye. Why would they call or reach out to me if there wasn't? But if I try to assume what I think I want them to know, then I'm going to miss the mark. So I just clearly say, hey, type back. Hey, what is it about this house that caught your eye? And then they're going to tell you. Usually it's a picture of something they can't see. They want to know, hey, I see the view, I see this, but I want to know, like, is there room for a 40-foot RV on the side of the house? I can't really see that gate and what's behind that gate. Now, like, okay, great. Other than parking a 40-foot Newmar on the side of the house, what else was important about you? No, I just want to know about that. Great. Now I know the direction to go in, and then I could find again or work it out. So I'm a fact finder. I love to use my ears and ask good questions. And when you ask good questions, you know, you get good answers, and then you see, do I want to work with this person or can I refer them? And I'll leave you with this. I recently sold a property in Surfside Beach in Texas. My client called me from Texas, say, hey, Brian, I'm a cash investor. I want to buy a house in Texas. And I've discovered this place on a TV show and it looked cool. So I drove down here to see for myself, do they really have houses still in this area for a couple $100,000 on the ocean? Sure enough, they did. I said, so what are you going to do? What's your plan? And he said, well, I'm just driving around and I love this place. I want to buy a property here. And I go, great. I go, why don't you just call me? Let me know which ones you find. I'll call the listing agents. I'll create a relationship with the listing agent. I'll set it up for them to show you the property so they can meet you or have one of their teammates meet you. And then he's like, yeah, you could do that. And I go, absolutely. So sure enough, he picked out 3 properties, called me, gave me all 3. I researched all 3, called all 3 listing agents and said, hey, is there an opportunity for my cash buyer who's in your area this week looking at properties? Sure, not a problem. All 3 of them said yes. All 3 showed their properties. He called me and told me which one he loved. He found the one he loved. I called the listing agent back and I said, hey, listen, I'm not licensed in Texas. I'm licensed in California. My client trusts me. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to work with you. Is your seller okay with you representing both parties? I'll be the voice with my client. You be the voice and the fiduciary with your seller, but you're going to need to represent both parties. And then whatever the CBB you're offering down there, I'd like to work a 50-50 referral fee with you because I'm going to be hands-on in this transaction. So I got a 50% referral fee instead of a standard 25 by just handing off a client. And guess what? When my client bought that property, then he Airbnb'd it. And then he's like, I want to do this again, but I want to do it in North Carolina. So he got used to calling me and I was doing this and I'm earning 50% referral fees rather than a standard referral fee because all I do is think a little differently and I try to stay in the deal for my client because I know they trust me. So that's it.
That's gold, Brian.
That's gold. Love that. Love that. And I like how you control it and you bring them back into it and so forth. Let's go down to the man with the hair. Bobby, how do you take, I was going to go with Mitch. Bobby immediately unmuted. I don't know why he assumed it was him.
Because I have hair and Mitch doesn't.
Dude, it's just displaced.
He does. It's just very microfiberish.
Yeah, let me show you.
That's it.
It's on his back.
He saves a lot of money on products. Anyways, so Bobby, how are you converting internet leads and making them into referrals and so forth?
All right. So internet game is definitely not, for the weak. You got to be able to handle a lot of rejection. You're going to get a lot of people that sign up for stuff that they say that they didn't even sign up for. So it is definitely a numbers game. So if you're not working all the other stuff, like doing the sphere and your past clients and everything, if you're not doing that, focus on that because that's going to get you a bigger return. But if you're doing everything else and you still have time for internet leads, then these are some good tips for you. All right. So first off, whenever you talk to somebody, after you're done, do a quick little video and send it to them and say, hey, Marcia, it was so nice to talk to you. You seem like a really fantastic person. And I know you're not ready to move to California yet, but when you do, I want to be the person that helps you. So if you ever need anything or want more resources, please reach back out to me. Make sure you send them your V card so that you're in their phone permanently. And make sure on your V card it says realtor. And you have to tell them, hey, if you forget my name, just punch in realtor into the phone when you save my contact. Then I will pop up. Okay, so by these little things, you will embed how you want to be remembered. And so that's very important. Now, you also want to ask the question, hey, who do you know who is also thinking of moving to San Diego? Or who do you know that's also thinking of doing something similar to what you're doing? That's a great way to get a referral, especially if you connected with someone nice. that's how you build your business. But the problem is most people don't ask for the order. So you got to ask for the order, guys. I mean, especially now more than ever, you can't leave any stone unturned in this type of market. So now, once they are in your system, it's all about nurturing them, because nobody's really calling up and saying, hey, I'm moving out there tomorrow. I want to buy a house tomorrow. It's usually months and months in advance. They're doing their research. And so, so you got to be careful with that. Don't try to push them along too fast. Now, also send them videos to help them get an understanding of how you run your business. So maybe you do a video on how you get an offer accepted, or maybe you're doing community videos on the area that they're interested in. Just send them those videos to let them know that you're thinking of them. Make sure you're using hashtags for anybody relocating in, because that's an important thing. You got the problem with these databases is you end up getting so many people in the database that you don't have them in the proper buckets. And so use the hashtags to properly put people in the buckets. So if somebody is looking for a house in La Mesa, I know that I can go ahead and go to my hashtags, put La Mesa, and any listing lead that I've gotten or any buyer lead coming in on one of my listings, I have hashtags on it so that when I get a new listing in the area, guess what I'm doing? Anybody with a hashtag La Mesa, I'm sending them my new La Mesa listing. Okay, so now they're keep seeing all these listings emails from us. So that over time is going to build trust, and they think, oh, he didn't forget about me. And so maybe they're not ready to move now, but they're going to be moving eventually. And again, reach out to them. Make sure you're constantly reaching out every 3 to 4 months, just checking in on their timetable. And then again, ask for those referrals. As far as, one other thing, on each client that you're talking with the internet leads, make sure you know their motivation for the move. If you don't know that, it's going to be really hard for you to know who you want to follow up with the most. So the people that with the highest reasons or the biggest motivation, obviously you're going to hang out, or you're going to be calling them quite a bit. Now, for agents, if you want more agent internet referrals, join as many realtor groups on Facebook as you can, not just your lab coat agents and things like that. Those are good, but they're so big that it's really hard to gain traction in something like that. If you're a CRS or if you're an ABR, make sure you're joining those groups because obviously they're a little smaller, and you tend to get more referrals. Now, if you help others, they're going to want to help you. So if you see somebody that is maybe looking for a house in Florida, I'm obviously thinking of Cameron, and so I'm punching in Cameron Smith if somebody's doing a Facebook post. So if the more agents you help get business, then they're going to want to help you in return. So when they see somebody looking for an agent in San Diego, Cameron's going to say Bobby Martins, and I'm bringing up Cameron because Cameron and I have done this several times with each other on different groups, and we've helped each other get listings and other business. So very, very important. Let's see. Other than that, just go into it with the long game. Don't think that it's going to be a quick sale, although it can be sometimes if they are coming in off of a property. The other thing too is make sure they're on some kind of drip of properties, because people want properties. That's usually the reason why they come to your website, or they go to Zillow. They want to see the properties. They get excited about that. So find out what they're looking for, set up a search, and then just continue to send them more properties. And then also look for off-market properties. If you're sending them off-market properties, now you got them, because now they're like, okay, I got somebody who's sending me all the MLS listings. I'm getting off-market properties. He's sending me community videos. I want to work with this agent when I'm ready. But again, it's when they're ready. It's not on your timetable. So if you try to push that, you're going to lose the client. So that's it.
I like that. And I just want to congratulate Bobby. He won the leader award at the top producer extravaganza in San Diego last week, which he was up there and he looked the best, and he represented all of us, the tribe and the EXP. And I just wanted to commend him on another accolade. But, you know, Bobby,
job, Bobby.
so I like how you say, hey, Cam would just send me the referral. What you don't know is I just sent Cam a huge thing of sunscreen from Costco, and it said, keep your skin elite, always refer to Pete. And so I don't think it's always gonna go to you, because I'm gonna stay in front of Cam. He's gonna send them to me too in San Diego. That's the big thing. And with that said, that's my segue into Cam on what he's doing with internet leads and how to get referrals and how to convert those. Because I think this is an important topic. We have a lot of people floating around on the internet, doing their research, checking out things. How do you decipher who's a true buyer and who's motivated, or who's a good referral resource and who isn't? That's my question.
Both are great questions, right? So how can you identify what we call an A+ buyer? And then how can we find A+ agents that can become referral partners? So this is a great topic today. I'm really excited about it. Obviously here last year, almost a little over a year ago, as most of you know, I got hit by a car going 40 miles an hour, and, you know, obviously had a really bad injury, couldn't walk. It sucked, you guys. I mean, you forget how important walking is until you can't do it. So after that, obviously I had many months where I couldn't show, I couldn't work, couldn't do listing appointments. So I really did transition my business to pretty much 100% referral base. So I was not doing, you know, doing the outshowings, doing all of the day-to-day stuff, because I just simply couldn't. So what's important about that though, is that when I first joined our organization here about 4.5 years ago, what I did is I really went out and I started our own referral networks inside our groups, right? We were really leveraging what we have to offer. Bobby was a great example about that. You know, Bobby has still to this day provided the largest referral sale that I have ever done in almost 20 years now. And you know, that's why Bobby's so confident, is he knows this, and it worked smooth. It was so great that we were able to do that. But when I first joined the company, I made it a priority to talk with as many agents around the country that are in our group as I could. And what I was telling them, and this is a really important line, you guys, is you have to lead with confidence. And I'm sure a couple of you guys are gonna chuckle here, because I actually approached Pete and Mitch and a couple of you guys. But when I first joined, I said, hey, I'm not an Icon agent yet, but I'm going to be, and I'm based here in this area, Southwest Florida, and I would really like to be your choice referral partner. Do you have anybody that's in this area, right? And that's it, you guys. It's as simple as that. And then obviously you do have to follow up the agents. You have to, you know, touch base with them and keep in contact, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there and ask for those referrals. And you have to be confident. No one wants to work with someone that's in their shell, right? You are the best. You can help them. You can solve their need for a referral agent in your area when the time comes or when they need that. So that's what I was doing. And it's all about confidence. I'd reach out to everyone that's in your organization and let them know where you work. Let them know that you're growing and you're on fire and you want to take over the world. Now, for agents that aren't in your upline or aren't in your team or organization, we have went out and we have targeted areas that have a huge amount or a lot of buyers coming from those areas, right? So you can use the census data from the government, go on the US Census, and you can see the migration patterns or where people are moving to and from. So when we start looking for agents that we want to add into our referral network that possibly, you know, maybe they're not with EXP, or maybe they are, but we definitely target agents in areas that have a large or more prominent migration patterns, because we know for a fact that they're going to have a large amount of agents or a large amount of clients coming down here that are selling homes in that area. And again, if you do want to target one of those areas, you reach out to the agents. You find agents anywhere. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Zillow or Realtor.com, Homes.com. You can find agents in those areas, and you reach out to them with that same script: is, hey, I'm a fantastic realtor down here. We're taking over the world, and I'm looking for referral partners because I've been working with a ton of buyers from your area, so I know people are moving back and forth, and I don't have a referral partner in your area. Do you have someone that you send your referrals to down here? If they say no, great. I would love to be that. And then you can work the conversation from there. So that is a big, a big strategy that we're using, is that we are picking and choosing actual cities and areas that are migrating here to Southwest Florida at a higher rate. So real quick, what do what does a referral agent or an agent that has a client, past client, friend, whatever it may be, what do they look for, right, when they are referring out or when they're choosing an agent? The truth is, most of the time, it's whoever gets to them first. They're going to refer it to the first agent they talk to. At the same time, though, when you talk to them, if you are the first agent, you have to make sure that you are touching on all of the topics or all of the important things that these agents want, right? And what is that? That's communication. That's being able to handle the job or handle their client efficiently and being able to do just as, if not better job than they could do with their client. So they're looking for that over the top service. They're looking for lots of communication. And they're making sure that you can do the job. And like I said, you guys, it's really important to let them know that you're doing a lot. You're busy, you're rocking and rolling, and you know you can help them. Like I said earlier, make sure that you're leveraging your upline or your downline. Like I said, when we first joined, I created my own groups, and I still recommend all of my agents to create their own referral network and start adding agents into that. You guys, there's what, 500,000 agents in the United States? We can have plenty of agents to create our own groups of 50, 60, 70 agents across the country. And those are great ways that you can leverage your upline or you can leverage your team and include them. That way, when the referral pops up in your area, man, guess what? Your whole team is helping you. That's what we're all about. We want to help you. We want to be like, you know, Bobby's the man in San Diego, or you know, Dave's the man in Park City. You have to be that way, and that is what we're all about. So make sure you're leveraging, make sure you're leveraging your group, your brokerage, your team. Now, the last one, you guys, right? This is what I always tell people. This is the hook. This is the script, okay? So when you're talking with them, obviously the first thing you want to do is you want to get on the phone. So you reach out to them through the internet. You say, hey, what's the best number to call you? Or better yet, you guys, you just call them, cold call them. If they have a referral for your area, and there's only going to be about 3 of you that actually will cold call them. And then my script that I always use is say, hey, just so you know, let's say Bobby, just so you know how I handle referrals, and it seems all the agents love this, but I do it 2 different ways, and I let you choose. One is I do it completely hands off. This is really good for people that may be coming through your website. They're not friends, they're not family. You just, you want me to handle it completely for you, and I'll let you know when it sells, right? Now, sometimes they're going to say, yeah, great. If they say yes, then just shut up and do that. The second option is what I really like to do for people that are, working with your friends and family, someone that's personal to you, because I know it's important. So I'm actually going to keep you in the loop throughout the process. And I'm actually going to, rely on you a little bit to help, work with these clients. If I need to maybe do a hard price reduction, or if I need to communicate with them, is it okay if we kind of work together on this? Oh my gosh, you guys, they love that. They love it. They love feeling like they're still part of the transaction. As Brian was saying, that's a great strategy as well. They love feeling like they're still part of the transaction, that they're going to be, important to their friends, their family, whatever it may be. And you're not just going to forget about them, right? So those are the big, the big script I have there is the 2 different ways. It works fabulous. But every time that you are doing outreach or you are talking with an agent that is possibly having a referral in your area, lead with confidence, you guys. Make sure that you're, leveraging our group. You're leveraging all the knowledge. You're telling them that, I'm an active agent. I'm honestly constantly learning, and I'm the best. Shoot, it can't hurt. If you say you're the best, and they go, huh. Well, it's better than not saying anything and being in a shell. So my biggest recommendation when reaching out to these agents is be confident. Anyways, guys, that's what I got for referrals.
Cameron, do you pay a little more if they're involved in it? Kind of like what Brian was doing, or no?
I don't. So I have always been very direct when I get a referral to me that I only pay 25%. I know some agents pay more, some agents pay less. But again, I have found that if I tell people what I expect and what I believe they should expect, it goes very smoothly. And no, I don't pay them any more to do that. I do that as a courtesy for them, so they can be more part of the transaction, and so that they can feel like, so they can feel better. That's really it. I only do it so that they feel like they're being handled differently. I handle the transaction exactly the same. Doesn't matter if I'm involving that agent or I'm not, but it's the same.
But you gave me a thought for newer agents, because one of the things, of course, I refer business out to other agents, and I do look for, what's their reputation online, their production, right? So if you're a newer agent, you don't have that speaking for you, right? When I look you up. However, I love what you just said. if you reached out to me, if you were a newer agent and you actually told me, hey, by the way, I know you asked for a 25% referral fee on this lead because I saw what you asked for. I have another program that I'm be willing to even give you 35%. Here's what that would mean, where I would actually involve you in some of the conversations because this sounds like it's a good friend of yours, blah, blah. Would that interest you? Like, I'm more than happy to give you 35 versus 25 that you asked for. I feel that can sway some agents from going with the top producer, right, to you, the newer agent, because you're willing to give them a little bit more money. And in a lot of cases, money does talk, especially on like buyers referrals. That's a lot easier too, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on there.
Just the thought for you newer agents that are listening, like how to get someone's ear, right? How to get them to listen to you, right? Just use what Cameron said, but maybe consider upping it a little bit so then you get their attention.
Even better yet, Pete, let me just interject
Cam.
real quick. I don't mean to cut you off. I love one even more. So if you are willing to be a little bit flexible on the referral fee, you can go right out there and say, I'm willing to do what it takes. Like I said, I'm hungry. I'm one of the top agents. And also, if you're a newer agent, you can make that a positive, right? We all know that, especially agents that are asking for an experienced long-term agent in the online leader, what they're looking for. They're looking for quality. They're looking for hands-on. They're looking for that communication. And if you bring that to them and you say, yeah, I'm a newer agent, but I am really busting butt and I do a great communication. I'm hands-on. I'll keep you involved. Bang, 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 bang. All those things that you want, man, you're going to get it. And then if you're also willing to be flexible on the referral percentage, you could add that in the end. And what can they say no? They are getting everything they want plus a bonus. You got them.
No, I think that's a good point, Cam, because there's a lot of newer agents on here saying, hey, how do I win that business for the referral? Just tell them you're going to make this a priority. I have a communication guarantee. This is how I communicate not only with the referral, but with you. And this is how I like to be communicated. Pre-frame that up front. By the way, Cam, today I'm sending over to your office, right, somebody to help out with your leg and your walking. So all the referrals come to me and not Bobby. I'm going the extra mile. I'm going to send over a PT, physical therapist, to help you out. All right. Randy, great stuff. I love when Ian chimes in.
Thank you, Cameron.
The Investor Agent Nation, king of it. Randy Zimnoch, otherwise known as the perfectionist, the Polish perfectionist, I call him. And here's the deal. I want to move on to the two roses in between all the thorns on this thing. And I'm going to start off with Gail. Gail's like my sister, and she's a rock star, and she literally hung out with rock stars. So Gail, how do you get in front of internet buyers and convert them or convince them to work with you and get that wrapped up? Because guys, it's going to be important to get buyer brokers signed moving forward. And how do you separate yourself from the pack of all the agents to have agents send you referrals? It's a double-sided question. And you have to unmute before you talk. Otherwise, I'm going to get a lip reader in here next week.
So,
Go ahead.
I'm a listing agent, right? But since I moved to St. Augustine, I have done some buyers. Like I just put one in contract. Actually, I thought it was last night, but this morning. And I'm getting a ton of referrals from California. And here's what you need to know. Cameron said something super important. You need to know the demographics. Where are they coming from? Okay, how do you find that out? You find out from your title company, your escrow officer. You find out from the sales, where are these buyers coming from? And then you find out, if you're a title company, like my escrow officer, she'd bury a dead body for me, right? If they can't give you that information, find somebody else. So I know where they're coming from. So yesterday was really interesting for me because she told me they were coming from, Long Island and, Connecticut, well, obviously Long Island's in New York, a lot of these East Coast. I thought, let me just look at my old neighborhood. And so I pulled up Port Jeff and I saw this name. I'm like, oh my God, I go Fontanella. And I just kind of sent her a quick little message. I'm like, hey, was your dad or uncle a janitor at Newfield High School? And next thing you know, I talked to her this morning for like 45 minutes. She's got a client moving to St. Augustine. So I got a referral just by going on homes.com. You can find any agent on there and they'll tell you how much business they've done, right? So what I'm doing right now, I have a list of 12 agents that have I have personally reached out to because they brought buyers in over 800,000 in my area. So I'm personally calling them. They're part of my prospecting. They're absolutely part of my prospecting. So I'm going to be meeting with the lady that she's sending me that's moving down to St. Augustine. And what I do when I get somebody on, I don't get them on the phone. I always get them on a Zoom. And I pull up maps of the area. I also pull up, pictures that are emotional. Hey, here's the sunrise. Here's the sunset over here. Here's the most killer park. Here's where you want to go boating. Here's where the opera is if they're into it. Here's the best restaurants. Here's where you want to shop. So I'm not just making it, I'm another realtor, tell me about you. I'm really trying to engage them. By the time we're done, we are like locked in together. We are BFFs. And I'll tell you, I have gotten more freaking referrals. What happened to Pete? Pete, I've gotten more referrals right now from the luxury referral group. I'm working with a $2 million buyer right now, cash buyer. And I'm also working with another buyer for, I don't know, under $1 million, but from the luxury referral group, the groups like Cameron said, you got to be engaged. I still get a ton from Mike Ferry. That's one of the reasons I still do the Mike Ferry. I am on the Mike Ferry prospecting. I am in a prospecting group every single morning. We prospect together and we refer each other. We know each other by names. We know each other by production. So it's those type of groups. But I'll tell you, there's a guy in my organization and he kills it because we know in Sacramento, all the buyers are coming from Silicon Valley. We know that, right? They're all coming from the Bay Area. So what he does, he did this little video with his wife and he markets, and I have a list of it's probably 8,000 agents now. It used to be 17,000, right? Every 3 months, my title agent, my title rep gives me a list updated. Anybody who does over 10 million in sales. Those are the people I market to, right? With my new listings, my coming soons. So what he does, he sends out a video. I'm going to give you 35%. My wife and I, we will, have been the top agents over here. He will take care of them. And it's really warming. He did last year, he did over $30 million in referrals. That's all he does. And they turn into listings. So if you do a video, send it out to the agents where they're coming from. So for me, it's like, we don't have one spot here. We're there. It was easy. We knew it was Santa Clara Valley. We knew it was Contra Costa County. We knew it was Alameda County. Here, there's little areas in, the East Coast. Luckily, I grew up in New York, so I'm familiar with it. But I would say start with where the buyers are coming from. That's super, super important. And I'm always trying to bless agents as I'm talking to them. So when I'm prospecting, I'm always trying to share the platform as well, right? So I'm always a two-fisted, right? And if I'm at the bar, I've already ordered my second drink before the first one is gone. So it's the same way I prospect. So it's like I'm talking about the area, I'm telling about what I do. Hey, here's the new communities, by the way. And then, I'm opening up a conversation so I can bless them with this platform that EXP has for all of us. Anyway, I want to give time for Corinne. That's my deal, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. And guys, I'll share this with you. I heard Gail the other day on a live call and she was talking to an agent. She's like, hey, you haven't sent me any referrals. And by the way, I called you. And the guy was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to call you back. She goes, that's one strike. You got 2 left. That's it. Right. And it was really funny because the guy was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Right. It's all about communication. I always pronounce your name wrong and I apologize. I'm going to the other beautiful woman on our mastermind, and I always say Corinna. I want to say Karina, right?
Yes, you got it. Thank you.
I got it.
The I is like an E.
Let's go to Karina, and she's gonna hit us with some wisdom on how to convert internet leads, and then also how to get referrals. Go ahead, Karina.
Okay, so I'll go quick like Jersey and Florida, right? So the number one thing I see so many agents mess up is they forget to follow up, right? 98% of all deals are lost because of the lack of follow-up. So we've had like amazing contribution here today. So I don't want to repeat what Bobby said and Cam and And Gail, I love your idea of getting them on a Zoom call. That was fantastic, with showing off the area. So that was awesome, but really follow up is humongous. So I think Cameron, one of you guys said about the video, I try to start with a video for my initial contact, a quick, hey, this is Karina Daninger with eXp Realty here in Melbourne, Florida. And you've reached out to me on whatever the situation is, this house or this particular advertisement. When can we jump on a quick 2-minute call? And I usually get a response pretty fast, or they're like, not interested. I want to know the not interested. It's like, I like the rejections on internet leads. The more I can get rid of the no's, the quicker I can get to my yeses. So follow up is very important. So the videos really work. I put them immediately. I think Bobby talked about this with a drip campaign. Everybody, even they say they don't want anything else from me, they go in a drip campaign until they unsubscribe from that, because I know they're looking. They had curiosity. So even if they're not talking to you, they don't want anything to do with you. You don't want to do with anything when someone's cold calling you either, right? Like, how many salespeople hang up on other salespeople because they don't want to be cold called, right? You're like, I'm too busy, click. So just know that they're not always saying no to you. They're saying, no, I don't want to talk to you. Most people don't want to be called on. So I love the videos, and I love putting them in drip campaigns. And I also put them into my monthly internet newsletter that goes out. I've converted a lot over the years. And it is, I think Bobby said this too, it's not your time, it's their time, right? We all want that deal now, but they may be, window shopping because they know they're not going to tell you that they're not going to be ready to move for 3 years, but they know their kids are graduating in 3 years. Then they may not share that with you. So keeping in constant contact. I also try to find them in social media and send them friend requests. A lot of times they accept, or I'll throw over a YouTube channel video that I've done in the area, and I know that they've watched it because now they're starting to communicate with me on that. So send them nice little things that you can, that doesn't make you a pushy salesperson, but gets them to communicate with you. Because I think that's the hardest thing with internet leads, is getting the communication and getting rid of the junk leads. And then as far as realtor referrals, I'm fantastic with this. Right now, I was counting on my whiteboard in front of me. I have 8 upcoming listings, all from realtor referrals. And so we all go to EXP conventions, right? We've been to EXP Con, or in Orlando, or you're with Mike Ferry, or I'm with Greg Luther, or whoever, and you're passing out information. Every person that I get a business card from, or an app in one of the digital apps, I follow up after an event with an email telling them how nice it was to meet with them. I try to remember something about everybody, talk about that, and then talk about how we can help each other with referrals. And then they go on to a quarterly email that goes out from me. My assistants actually send them out for me, but they go out, and it's reminding them about our relationship. And hey, I don't currently have anyone coming to San Diego, but I am getting a lot of people into Florida by the Space Coast from San Diego. They're coming out here because of the space program. And so a lot of times I can help them jog their memory that I'm there for them. And then they're sending a lead my way. And obviously if I get one back, I send them right back to them. And they know that.
Love that. And yeah, it's got to be reciprocal, you guys. Not only with leads or buyers, they're looking for a means to an end. They're looking for somebody who's educated on the market, who knows the opportunities, who can guide them. And you have to stay front and center. It doesn't mean they're going to buy tomorrow. Mitch always taught me, he said, look, you're going to have to chase these people or get in front of them, especially internet leads, sometimes 15 to 20 times. Don't do the 1 and out or the 2 and out. It doesn't work that way. You have to keep poking them and staying in front of them on the lead side when it comes to internet. So when it comes to referrals from the agents, it's the same game. You got to stay in front of the agents. Make it about them. Ask them how their family's doing. How's their business doing? What can you do? How can you help them? Because if you are out of sight, you're out of mind. If you're in sight, you're in mind. And they'll send you opportunities. Don't be a secret agent. You are not James Bond. I get news for everyone. You're not 007. Maybe Bobby thinks he is because he moves around a lot, but you are not 007. All right. You have to get in front of these people. Look, he's making the image, the whole deal. Now let's go to the ROG. He always goes by the real estate old guy. I don't dig that. I'm calling him the real estate opportunity guy. All right. That's what he is. All he deals with is opportunities. And that's what everybody wants. Lurchy, tell me how you've dealt with in the past, if you have, with internet leads and how long it took to convert them. What was the process? And then how are you doubling down on getting referrals from agents?
Everything that's been shared is fantastic, and everybody has mentioned something different. Guess what? I don't have anything different. It's just how you go about doing it. And that's the key. When somebody calls on an internet lead, I'll be dead honest, especially through my KV Core. I love KV Core. We put stuff out there, people click on it, and I call blind all the time. I always call and I just say, did you get what you're looking for? And by the way, what made you click on that at this given time that connected us? And then I stop talking. They're going to answer. They're going to say something. And that's as simple as it is. And I also ask them, I said, is this something that we should keep a dialogue going? Or are you just going to go out, keep dating other realtors? I'm good either way. I just don't want to be chasing people to chase people. So I actually call it to the T of what's making you look at Philly? What's making you look at luxury? Or are you just looking at the luxury because you want to see what these cool houses look like and putting your own? I'm good. How do we get to the next level of me hearing what your needs are? And if it's no good, I take them off. I don't bank them. I don't watch them. I don't deal with, my brain doesn't do it. I want to deal with people that are buying now or in the next, 12, 18, 24 months. After that, I don't need to be bothered. I'll throw them in something. They'll get emails, but I don't do that nurturing for 1.8%. There's more time for me to spend with people that are sending me my referrals, my past clients, other realtors. Karina was fantastic in saying how she stays up with them. I have my favorite group of other agents around the country. I follow them on social media. I text them all the time. I love on them and they will love you back. We've all used the line. People don't care until they care how much you know. Even agents in your marketplace that don't know price points or commercial. I've got agents in other companies that are referring commercial people to me because they know I'm in residential and commercial I'll do, but they don't know a commercial person. So they're coming from another company and referring to me instead of who do they refer to. So it all goes back to the basis of relationships. You guys know it. We know it. We can spend $10 million on Zillow leads. But if you can't connect with the person, it means nothing. There's nothing there. And every one of us has talked about connecting. And that's the key. It goes down to relationships. People want to hang with people like themselves. People want to talk with people like themselves. And remember, we've said this before, 83% of all the agents in the business are transactional. They're not transitional. They're going to drop the ball after that sale. So they're all orphans. Start working their sphere of influence after settlement, unless you like the agent, and start getting referrals from them. You were the expert on the listing. You were the expert on the person that had that house for sale. Why not become and stay that person? So I start working the referrals of the other clients that 83% aren't going to follow too in my own marketplace. That's as simple as I do. And what makes it fun.
Tell them about your program. Tell them about your new referral program. Don't you have one saying, send me all your referrals, I'm not cheesy, and you send people cheesesteaks from Philly?
No, I don't do that. But what I do is I send folks from Philly. So, that I do. Any agent that does.
If you send me a cheesesteak, I'm definitely finding you a referral. If you get it wrapped from Pat's and you're sending it to me overnight.
Well, you're missing. You have to see my videos, the best in Philly. All right, everybody, I'm going to tell you right now. Last time I'm going to tell everybody this. Write this down. Angelo's in Philly is the best. Owned by Danny. You go in, you ask for Danny, say, Danny, you're Uncle Craig. And he calls me Uncle Craig. It's Angelo's. I'm telling you got to go to Angelo's. It's the best.
All right, we got to get Angelo's to shrink wrap it so you can mail them out. That's your new referral program right there.
I just come to
Let's
Philly,
go
we'll
over to
get
Ian.
a bunch of them.
Ian's been sitting there quiet. He's given some sense. Randy, I know you don't deal with a ton of internet buyers per se, or I could be wrong, but I know you deal with a lot of investors, and I know you deal with a lot of agents around the nation who are part of Investor Agent Nation. So how do you handle those referrals or bring them in?
Yeah, so good transition. So I nurture my investor community And one thing I know for sure is that, you know, a lot of investors don't just invest in their backyard. They a lot, especially if they want to do buy and holds. So like, give you an example. One recent investor I met in San Diego, they want to do buy and holds actually in Jacksonville. So what do? I referred them. I said, hey, let me hook you up. I'll get you someone from my network. I have a massive network. I don't tell them that I'm personally friends with them. I don't lie to them, but I also don't go into details. I just say, look, my network is massive. Let me pick you the right agent. I'll interview a few, see who I like. I'll give you a couple to talk to, and you let me know which one you like, and I'll stay involved as much as you want me to. So I leverage my network not only for local business, of course, but then also I keep asking and letting them know that I can connect them anywhere in the country. You just tell me where you want to look, right? And I'll hook you up. So I just did that. And then one thing I'll say though, I'm going to speak from the other side, because I do more referrals out than getting referrals. I'm not like going after and chasing referrals from agents, because I get it kind of from my investor community. But I'm just going to give you tips, like, and these are simple tips, and you would think that most agents will follow, but they don't, man. And it just annoys the crap out of me. Like, we have an internal workplace group, right? And I'm guessing a lot of big brokerages probably have something very similar where they can post their referral agent to agent within their own company. Well, what we have is called Workplace. We have a specific group that's designed for referrals only. And I use it a lot, right? Because I refer business out. And I will put specific instructions in there. How I want them to contact me, right? And it's very simple. I don't want them calling me. I don't want them emailing me, right? I say, send me a workplace chat message, right? Which is that internal platform with your website. Tell me about your experience. Tell me about any reviews that if you have any, where can I read some things about you? And just send them to my workplace chat. That's it. I kid you not, man. These agents are calling me, texting me. I'm like, I don't want to be bothered like this. That I just literally told you. I don't know if you think that actually is going to get you bonus points because it looks like you're so aggressive, but you're actually annoying me because I don't want it that way. So you have to, listen or read in this case. Like, read what the instructions say. And this happens even with listings. When I say, open house is only this day, just show up then. And agents still try to call me like, no, I can't do it. And it's the same with referrals. And it blows my mind because I don't care how good you are. If you can't follow instructions, I'm not even going to look at you anymore. You literally blow it for yourself. So it's a simple instruction. Just follow what they say. If they say, send me a workplace chat, or if they say, send me a text message, do that. Send a text message, but don't call them. They didn't say call them. So leave a text message and just say, look, I love what you saw. I'm one of the best agents in the area. Here's my reviews. You can check them out right here. Like, just do that. And you're going to literally rise to the top simply by following instructions. I'm telling you, I just did this and I had like 10 agents fighting for referral, but only 2 or 3 followed the actual instructions. And those are the ones I gave attention to. The rest I disregarded. And they could have been great. I don't know. I disregarded them. That's it. I'll leave you with that.
I love it. We got 2 minutes left and we've ignored the internet guru himself, Mitch. I'm giving you 120 seconds to give us 120 years of knowledge. Go ahead.
And I do have 120 years being the elder statesman here. I'm even older than Craig, even though he looks older. All right, so here's the deal, guys. We're going to talk about internet, obviously, and I'm going to talk about just a couple of things real quick. One, from a drip campaign standpoint, it's really important that you don't do a bunch of bull crap. That you do all stuff that actually means something. Up until I sold my internet lead system 2 years ago, and we had a 6% lead conversion rate on raw internet leads, which is 6 times the national average. Our best drip of all the drips we did was this, and I can't type it in, but it's just checking in, making sure you're getting my updates. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I can show you any property in Brevard County. That 2 sentences alone has driven more business to me over the last 18 years or 20 years of doing internet lead conversion than anything else we did. The other thing I want you to think about is, why do people use you as a realtor? There's only one real reason. It's because you happen to be in front of them when they're thinking about buying or selling. That's it. So what happens is the listing updates is the most important drip that you do, right? Because they only want to look at listings. They don't care about all the other crap, right? They really don't. They just want to look at houses. But here's what happens. The problem is people will send them a very tight list of properties, and there's not a lot of matches, so therefore they're not in front of them very often. So you make your search for your listings very, very broad. And what I mean by that, so say they're looking for a $400,000 house, I'm going to be between $300,000 and $500,000. Right now, if they're going to be buying in a month, that's a different story. But the average closing rate is 233 days, so most people aren't going to buy in a month. And the reason being, I want 25 to 35 matches. The reason why I want 25 to 35 matches is because now I know I'm going to show up 3 or 4 times in their email with new listings on the market. Again, in front of them when they're thinking about buying or selling. Same way when you're talking to your leads, you need to definitely be finding out if they have a home to sell. We did great amount of business from our referrals, from homes to sell, from our internet leads over the years. And it's a lot of people don't even ask that question, or they don't even think about it. But that was a huge source of, I think, on our registration form always had, always had, do you have to sell your home, or something like that. And if it said yes, that's one of the questions we had when we had the conversation. So we're out of time. That's what I got. I have a whole bunch more stuff I could talk to you about. We'll have to do some other day. But internet leads
We'll
are
have to
great.
do part 4.
Yeah, I know, right? If you work them properly, but most people don't work them properly, so that's why you have to have an ISA, which may be part 4.5, right?
Part 4 is going to be Mitch leading it off next week, you guys, and we're going to do it where he's going to do it step by step, what you need to do in the action plan. Brian Yarber's hands up. He put down his fishing rod. What do you got?
I have since we're going to do a part 4, just remind me next week. It's more of an open house script. It's a 6-figure referral script. I can track
I love that.
a 6-figure referral income from a script at an open house. I'll leave with that.
Great.
I love it. You guys, everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for being on. Cam, I'll get you next week. Make sure you put on sunscreen all weekend. And here's the deal. We're going to do part 4 next week. Everybody was fire. All right. And just remember, if you have to send referrals to San Diego, think of Pete. Pete knows. Okay. Bobby, I'll send you some hair products if I get any referrals. Okay. Anyone, everybody tell somebody, do yourself a favor, invite a friend next week to part 4, because we're going to give you and map out a blueprint step by step what you need to do to generate internet leads and how to convert them. Okay. Invite a friend. Let's get this up to 150 people a week that we're helping and that we're leading with contribution and collaboration. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
See you guys.